it's Josh. I have my 2007 Cayman S here, and it is winter time, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about winter storage and what I do for this car, and maybe get some input from you guys. Basically just kind of help out the car community and get some good helpful tips out there of proper ways to store your car for a long period of time. What I've done so far with this car, obviously it's already January, so it's not like it's just happened. It's already been in storage for a couple months now. But what I have is I have a whole different set of wheels, and this wheel is an aftermarket Sport Edition rim. They weren't ever made for this Cayman. They were made for a 911, so they don't fit perfectly, but they do fit. Same bolt pattern. It's just not the ideal width. They're actually just as wide in the front and slightly wider in the back than my stock 19s, which is bad. You actually want narrower wheels if you're gonna drive it in the winter. For winter tires, you want narrower. Narrower is better. It cuts through snow better as long as you got good rubber on there, good snow tires. That's the most ideal situation. This does not represent that because they're wider. But they were cheap, and I was gonna run this in the winter for a while. But for right now, I chose to store it on these rims because the tires that are on there are winter tires, and I don't really care about them. They're already kind of shot anyway. So I'd rather have it sit on these tires long term than my good new summer tires for two reasons. One is flat spots. The longer a car sits on a tire, it can develop a flat spot, which is not good for performance. And also is the cold weather. My garage is not heated. It stays pretty warm just from the house being around it, like right around freezing, but otherwise the summer tire compound is not meant to be frozen below freezing. So that's not the ideal. It breaks down the compound faster once it heats back up. So it's smart to store those in a warm space in your home or in a heated garage. And those are inside. I'll show you those in a second. These are the wheels in question. They are enormous. The size on here is, well, it's the wrong size. So don't look at these for an example. I bought these from a guy with a 911. They're just wide. They're 9. Really bad idea. You want to avoid that if you're going to drive this in the winter. But like I said, these tires are garbage anyway. They're just cupped and crapped out, and I really don't drive it. I could if I had to, but really I don't care about them. They're disposable. The second thing I do is I do a full oil change to it. I did a brand new oil change right before I put it to storage. I did the oil change, ran it around, make sure it was all properly lubricated in the engine first, and then I washed the car and detailed it pretty well. Could use a little bit more, but then once it was all that and I dried it out really well, I drove it around a little bit more just to get all the water out of any of the cracks. That's when I brought it in for stopping it in the garage, parked for good. And once I was there, a lot of people can tell you that they'll put in a fuel stabilizer. I didn't do that. You can do that. There's Sta-Bil, or there's Seafoam, or many other products. I've used both of the first two I mentioned, and the only good thing about Seafoam is it also helps clean out certain things, but I don't know about that with the European car. I just kind of stayed away from it for right now. It's only a few months in storage. The fuel will last. It's a brand new full tank of non-oxygenated, no ethanol gasoline in there, 91. Battery tender I bought is, I think I got it off eBay. It's a Delran Battery Tender Junior. This little guy. It's good. I think it's red because something. I gotta check it. I have one on my car and one on my bike. Right there. I'll show you how I ran it up underneath the hood where it's just an open gap so I can close the hood all the way. If you run it out the front, it's going to be squished in the rubber weather seal, and I don't want to do that. So I did it this way, and I'll show you what I did. So I just ran it in through the top here, plugged it in, and no wire here will be squished in any of the hood, so it closes up tight without a problem. And then you just run it out the top by the by the wipers, and it's just plugged in. So I store my wheels right inside my workroom here. It's out of the way, and basically what I've done is I clean them up really well right when I take them off in the fall. I take them all off. I scrub the backs off, scrub off any tar or anything stuck to the insides of the barrels. I'll show you. So as you can see, they're all cleaned up, and before I put them back on in the spring, I will put a little coat of wax on there. It won't last as much as like a ceramic coating, but it'll keep it going for a little bit longer without stuff sticking as bad. Of course, these are the brand new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's that I really have enjoyed. Drove them 1 full year, and the tread is still looking really good. After that, I was sitting for a while thinking about things I could do to my car on a budget. And one of the things they say you can do is actually de-snorkel your Cayman, because this is the air inlet for the engine. There is a possibility that like cigarette butts or other things from road debris can flick off other cars or whatever and actually get pulled into here. And to avoid anything going into your the air box, Porsche actually fit a big plate in here, and it's enormous. This is the size of it. It fits right inside of here to actually some way or another, like this, to actually stop any debris from getting into all the way to your filter. But since that's such a rare occurrence and it really won't hurt anything, even if that was to happen, which is really unlikely, all it does is restrict airflow. And they say, and I got helped by my good friend Bob at Auto Edge, who helped just pop this off for me without breaking it, which I would have inevitably done. Basically, you can get a couple extra horsepower from this, just from better airflow, cooler air, more ram air effect just by doing this. And then this is essentially the snorkel that is in the hole that you pull out, and you don't need it. It's just a giant hole now, nothing to restrict it. What I'm gonna do next is, this will obviously go back on, but what goes on this, that goes somewhere too. I'm gonna take and go get some mesh to put around the inside of this thing, so that will help stop any debris if it were to come through these larger holes. I'll just get some mesh, real clean, black, just so it blends in nicely in the shadow inside there, just to stop any debris, but yet still get all that extra airflow for a little bit more performance. All right, so right now I think we're gonna go to Home Depot and find some mesh that I like for the back of that thing to finish that off and get it reinstalled. So here we go. Home Depot. Does anyone else ever get completely lost at Home Depot? Off to Menards. Home Depot had nothing. Well, Menards and Home Depot let me down on the mesh. All I'm looking for is some expanded metal sheet mesh stuff. And nobody had a clue what I was talking about, but I'm pretty sure it's a pretty common thing, so. Okay, so that was sort of a waste of time. Menards and Home Depot, you don't have any expanded metal sheets, which is very odd to me because that seems like it should be a standard thing. So I'll wait on this little project for another time. But yeah, I did go over all the steps that I took to winterize my Cayman. I definitely think that the ones that I at least took are necessary. There's definitely more that people do that I didn't do. But those are kind of optional, really kind of getting into that excessive, not excessive, just, well, yeah, it's excessive. Really, you're not going to see much of a benefit to all that extra stuff. But for sure, a battery tender is smart. Definitely change your oil before the winter. And I put my winter tires on to store them on because I don't care about this particular set. And then, of course, I cover my car up. Just after I detailed it and everything for the winter, I put the cover over it to just keep it clean and be ready to go out right when the spring springs. So yeah, thank you for watching. Again, hit that subscribe button down below. If you liked the video, drop a comment down there too. This year I'm going to be doing a lot more Porsche stuff, which I'm excited about. And so just follow along. I would love to have you subscribe, and I'll look for you on the next one. Thanks, guys.